Noba ndilekhaya 5 years ngoku ndi-permanently unemployed.
It's been 8 years ndingaphangeli. Kudala ndingaphangeli, kudala ndizama andinantlahla yofumana umsebenzi apha.
Luck. It's not part of this story. As of March 2022, 4 in 10 young people between the ages of 25 and 34 are unemployed. Cape Town has a population of 4.8 million people. If we had to fill Cape Town twice, it couldn't contain all the young people who are not in employment, education, or training. The thing about youth unemployment is this. We tend to believe that unemployment only happens when young people start looking for work and can't find a job. But that's just not the case. Growing up is a journey, and just like any journey, you get the ups, the downs, and more often than not, the detours. Sometimes there are even dead ends. Think of youth unemployment as a result of multiple dead ends, invisible roadblocks that young people continuously find along their journey because of a fractured system. These are roadblocks young people didn't create, and they cannot overcome them on their own. Without help and support in sight, for the majority of young people, it can feel like their future is over, even before it begins.
Endlini sihlala sibayi 13 but abantu abaphangelayo usemnye ngokwangoku akekho omunye.
Ngoku sihlala sibayi-2 phaa endlini. Ndim nomama wam oyipenshina nobona 70 something.
Thina endlini sihlala sibayi-6, uyi-1 umuntu ophangela, sixhomekeke kumakazi wam ne-8 yabantwana ababini.
Ekhaya sisonke sibayi-10. Abantu abaphangelayo bathathu, zii-brothers zam eziyi-3. Njema bephangela ke bahoye ingxaki zabo, akho umuntu uhoye omnye, umuntu uyazimela ngenxa yelangeni.
Ndihlala nabantwana bam ababini notata wam ongaphangeliyo.
These are not isolated stories. Research shows that 2 in 10 young South Africans live in households that do not have an employed adult. These households heavily rely on social grants and are homes where satisfying basic needs like securing food are a daily problem. With 60% of the population in South Africa being young people, our development as a country is closely linked to how we support young people and how we enable them to be economically active. So where do we start? By asking them what barriers they experience on their journey and advocating for solutions.
Andithi umuntu esanda uphuma esikoleni neminqweno yoba angaphangela mhlawumbi okanye aqhubeke kafunde, so azikho ezonto. Sometimes abanye bafumani kwa isikolo, mhlawumbi omnye befeyilile imatric yakhe so akakwazi uqhubekela phambili, move forward, because laa nto umuntu uzixelela uba ndofeyila imatric life wam uphelile.
Since ndaphuma ekholeji zange ndiwufumane umsebenzi, koko nandiwukhangela. Till now andikawufumani. College ndiphume last year. Nakhona uphuma kwami college ndiphume ngenxa yongabi namali uqhubekeka nezifundo, bhatala izifundo. Since ndaqona okay mandiphume ndikhabe ndithatha ibreak ndifuna umsebenzi kuba ndizophinda ndibuyele ndigqibezele izifundo zam, kodwa zange ndikwazi.
Young people who leave school with a matric certificate already have a slightly better chance of finding work compared to those without one. Why? Because a matric certificate is often used as a passport to post-school education and training. But only 4 out of every 10 grade 1s reach and pass grade 12. The ideal journey through school is 12 years. However, many young people are stuck repeating grades or simply give up and drop out. For example, in any given year, there are around 250,000 young people who are working towards their matric certificate outside of the full-time schooling system. They might have dropped out of school before reaching grade 12, might have not passed their matric exam, or simply want to upgrade their mark. However, they are doing so on their own, without support. Expanding support that enables young people to prepare for and pass their matric exam would help keep young people on track.
It's actually the institution's responsibility to make sure that if the students enroll on the program, they need to make sure that that program, the package of it includes the internship and also includes the work plan. Now you're only giving the theory part of things. When coming to the physical part of it, the student has no knowledge. So that's why I think that responsibility lies with the institution and the government.
Despite the impact that post-school education can have on young people's future, most young people who enroll in colleges and universities don't get the support they need to complete their qualifications, and only 60% of university undergraduates finish within 6 years. In order to support young people to complete their qualifications, it is essential that learning institutes are equipped with resources that address their real needs.
Ndiyazamana online, siya-emaila, siyapha kosululutho, siyachajwa i-R20 sibe singenazo nezo mali. Funeka ndibe nemali okhwela, ndibe nemali okutya apho ndiyakhona kuzafuneka ndityile. And asanazo nezinto ekuthiwa ziitreyini sokhwela zitshipha. Siyabetheka lapha ezimalini zokhwela. And nalapho sicela khona imisebenzi siyaphoxa i-CV sizifake, sizifotokopi enzima zilahlwe.
Mhlawumbe kuphela idatha kayika i-CV ndifake i-CV ndingafowunela so kufuneka ndiphinde ndenze enye i-CV imali ke ngoku le ndinganayo.
Cele kanye kumama wami andibolekele kanye ndiboleke i-friends then ndibe nemali yokhwela then ndibe ngona ndiyayo kuloo ndawo. Kulezi linki ngoku kuthiwa masiklike kule link ithile kukho i-post then xa uklikhayo le link awuyiboni ngoku le post le suppose uba uyayi-aplayela then kuphele idatha iphela ngoku ungaqhubekeki ngoku-aplayela and befuna uyi-aplayela.
When young people start job seeking, they continue to face new roadblocks. What is meant to be an opportunity to build their future is only met with more obstacles. For example, with the high cost of transport, data, and printing, young job seekers can't always afford to even look for work. Most young people have to choose between looking for work or buying food. But technology can be used to solve this obstacle. In 2021, the government rolled out a data-free platform called sayouth.mobi that young people can use to find opportunities to learn, earn, and volunteer. Because young people don't need data to access SA Youth, the platform effectively reduces costs because it's widely accessible and it also makes opportunities visible. But this is one part of the problem. To have real impact, it's critical that businesses use SA Youth as their preferred platform to share vacancies, and the skills development sector favors matching to ensure that young people apply for positions that fit their skills.
Ndicinga ukuze kube lula ulutsha likwazi uba lifumane umsebenzi lungazixhomi kakhulu ekintweni yoba funeka ukuze lisebenze kube kanti uba liphume esikolweni labheka ekholeji. Umuntu uzalwayo nesiphiwa naso mosegqibeleni likwazi uba liyisebenzise nale into anayo umuntu angaxhomekeki into yoba funeka ndifundile ukuze ndikwazi usebenza funeka ndiphume esikolweni ndiye kuloo khampani likwazi uvuka lizenzele lizizamele into yazo.
I think ube ndingekho experience engendaphangela because I'm from besuka esikolweni. Ndicinga noba yenye yezinto ekube ndingafumani.
Let's look at vocational training. On average, young people in this type of training are far less likely to complete their qualifications than those at academic universities for a number of reasons. One place young people do get stuck is an inability to complete the work-integrated learning or practical component of their course, leaving them with an incomplete qualification. Engaging technical sectors in these qualifications would improve not only completion rates, but also the absorption of skilled laborers into the economy.
The question here is how are you actually helping that youth to be independent? If you're actually requesting things that you know that you don't have, or you even know that the skills that you actually want from that you don't have, how is that youth expected to produce those things? Hence, you're saying that you want them to be the leaders that will actually help with unemployment, but you're actually depressing them on the corner of not even wanting to start.
The conventional hiring practices employers use are outdated because they don't match the realities of young people. In fact, most employers see educational qualifications as the only way to assess young people's skills. But because of systemic roadblocks and dead ends, young people may not appear qualified on paper, but in reality, they have the attitude and skills to complete the job. We can solve this by urgently innovating hiring practices. Employers need new, relevant criteria to assess young people's skills and potential.
Umsebenzi ayitholakali to an extent bangoku umuntu end up ubone inansi uapply na for opha umsebenzi just to make ends meet ngoba as long ba ufumana umsebenzi yabo as long manje kuzaba ko something ezawuzisa sonke endleni ngoku yabo sentsho ngoku akusekho no choose akusekho noba pick ngoku lo msebenzi uvelayo ngoku uyawuthatha because uyayibona ba ixesha liyahamba izinto azichange because especially for the past 5 years I feel ukuthi life yami bistakile because ngiyebona nemisebenzi bingafumaneki tu.
There are not many jobs, and even though young people face multiple dead ends along their journey, they keep moving and they use the skills that they do have to stay afloat.
Khona abantwana besikolo sometimes bafundisa maths, physics, but bagqibele kudala ngoku. Not grade 12 starting from standard 7 to standard 11 to grade 11 I mean yabo, but not you can gcumeka bayiloo ndlu yabo then bandiceye kuloo ndlu bancedisa abantwana abapha kanye balekisha ke-maths kanye English ndifumana kanjalo sometimes imali ke.
Young people are often told to start a business and pursue entrepreneurship. While entrepreneurship can stimulate the economy and create employment, it's easy to forget that doing business in South Africa is not that easy.
Bendike ndazama uvula i-business like yothengisa i-chips but ikhange ihambe kakuhle. Yeah, because befika abantu bathi bafuna imali bayaboleka bazonibuyisela ndike mnandi kule mntu akwazi nokukoleka. So end up ngokutshona kanjalo business yami.
If we really want young people to effectively engage in business activities, it's important to provide knowledge like financial literacy, administration skills, and business mentorship to ensure that those businesses can grow. Young people try their hardest. They apply for courses, complete internships, and do piece jobs. But even after doing all of this, they're back to square one. It feels like they're stuck in revolving doors that lead nowhere.
Senze engineering, senze ne-admin, kwi-learnership is different. Uba sifuna senzela i-careers yethu exesheni sibe nento yokwenza yabo. Sine-certificate is different. And ngoku iminyaka ihambile ngoku. For instance, mna ngoku ndina 35 already. Nge-24 kaMarch ngebirthday yami zoba na 36 so wenzovaleleka kwizinto zizovela in future.
And yes, young people won't be young forever.
Ngoku umuntu leqe 35 soon ngoku uzavele kubone kube nzima noba uqasheke ngokuthiwa ubeyond age kaloku because ke South Africa ikhole into uba xa ungaphi 30 xa ungapha ke 35 bomba kunzima kwafumana umsebenzi so zezinye ze-fears sesinazo ngoku because waliba ndithi kulo nyaka ndibone ndidibanise 34 so which means bantu bandishiyekelwe unyaka oyi-1 then ndiphume kula age group uyibone ye-youth ke ngoku so imagine ke ngoku ifear yam yabo yiloo nto ngoba sikevele be-unemployable ngoku.
The time to prioritize youth unemployment is now. Real, sustainable, systemic change can only come from removing the roadblocks for young people. Changing the system is not an easy fix, but it can trigger tremendous change. Because making sure young people are economically active means a thriving South Africa for all. But to achieve policy change, it's critical that the voices and experiences of all young people are heard, so that decision makers can design the solutions that young people need to move along in their journey. With the help of young South Africans, the advocacy campaign, Youth Capital, mapped out the action plan, highlighting the main areas where young people get stuck in their journey to becoming economically productive. Finishing education, having the support they need to look for work, and leveraging existing work opportunities are stepping stones that will really enable young people to live lives at their full potential and also contribute to the economy. Youth Capital at woza are committed to a South Africa where young people can be all they want to be. Check the action plan to see how you can also contribute with your experience, project, or solution. Youth unemployment is also a growing concern for the continent too. And this is why Youth Capital has also joined the Jobs Now Africa by the One campaign. The campaign has brought together more than 50 organizations from across Africa working to dismantle barriers that exist and aims to help create 15 million decent jobs in Africa each year by 2025.